On this episode of Motor MythBusters.
Wow!
When UFOs cause automotive mayhem, are the assumed array of physical effects
Magneton!
based on a scientifically feasible foundation? And
It started overheating, and then steam just started coming out.
a radiator rumor.
I was thinking about peeing into it.
You know, that's indecent exposure, right?
Can a leak
This is so gross.
really provide emergency relief?
Full urine steam ahead!
Meet the team.
There's a potential that I could get electrocuted.
With the mechanical expertise
More oxygen, more fuel. That makes more power.
to test all things automotive.
It's almost like surgery. If I make a mistake, we'll blow up the engine.
This is Motor MythBusters,
This is our job!
where science meets the streets.
BC!
Yes?
Our radiators are in for the truck. So I got two of them. Because I went online and I saw there was one guy, he peed into the radiator, and that was enough to get him 2.5 miles to the gas station until it got fixed.
Huh. Well,
So I thought, let's get a couple of them. We'll test, could you use urine as coolant?
okay.
You're liking this myth, I can tell.
Yeah, kind of,
Here, you want to
sorta.
grab one?
So, the myth is you're in the middle of nowhere. Your engine's steaming, radiator leaking. Don't hesitate to micturate. Question is, can pee really be used as an emergency coolant?
I feel like most people think when you fill up your radiator, you're filling up the entire thing like it's a big tank. But what people don't realize is there's a lot of fluid going through each of these layers.
That is correct.
And then most of it is air passing through the veins
That is very
to
true.
dissipate that heat.
And these veins allow for heat exchange to occur from those passageways to the atmosphere. The engine typically has either an electric or mechanical water pump that takes the coolant that's already warmed up,
Right.
forces it into the radiator.
And then it starts going
It starts
through
going across
these little tubes.
small channels.
And
with
all
those
that
small
air
channels,
is blowing through here, pulling that heat away from that fluid.
and the coolant then goes back to the engine and does its job all over again.
Pun intended. That's so cool. So if the radiator has just the bed, I guess I should say wet the bed. What are the dangers of not having coolant going through the engine?
Most engines prefer to run in the mid-180s to 212 degrees, but hit 250 and you can have some serious engine failure. I mean, you can have everything from rods bending from seizing through the cylinders. You can have head gaskets blowing. So it's always good to have a proper working cooling system. And the key, the coolant components. So what we have here is a 50-50 mix of an ethylene glycol-based engine coolant. So this is very different from water. It prevents freezing in winter, and it has a higher boiling point, 223 degrees Fahrenheit. A pressurized radiator cap can help increase that temperature, which is important in keeping the engine cool. Question is, how does that compare to pee? Oh my God.
I'm ready to
Get that
boil
away
some
from me.
pee.
Oh my God. Is that yours?
This is mine.
You need some more water in your diet.
I'm gonna go boil this outside.
Okay.
And I'll give you the data.
Sounds good. You look great, by the way.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, we got a little bit of drippage. You know, being on MythBusters, I'm kind of used to this disgusting stuff.
Right now, we're trying to find out what the boiling temperature of urine is. Pee is basically liquid waste. So far, we're about at 195, and the urine hasn't boiled yet.
Jesus. God.
I told you it smells
It
bad.
got worse.
This is getting to you.
Yeah, a little bit.
We have math.
Okay.
Right now, we're at 212. This might be a better solution than coolant.
It may be.
To cool your engine.
Yeah, it may be. Okay. Okay. 217.
So at 217,
Yeah.
the urine boiled.
Understood.
That's exciting. You're starting to feeling like this is a good engine coolant?
Yeah, except for the corrosive properties of urine.
Well, what we should try to do is just do a little experiment, put some steel and aluminum in the urine and see how it reacts.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yep, even if using urine when you're in an emergency is possible, what are the implications for the car's cooling system? Would P's potentially corrosive power leave the myth done and rusted?
What if you filled your radiator with urine and walked away and it just sat there for like a month?
You forgot to, like, flush it back out?
Yes. So what we're gonna do is we are going to take this chunk of radiator, which is made out of aluminum. We're gonna take this piece of water pump, which is made out of iron. We're gonna dip it into a vat filled with pee, and we're gonna let it sit there for 30 days and then see how corrosive urine is on these types of metals.
Oh, God, just thinking about it is so freaking gross.
So you had the lucky job of helping me sort out the urine. And
Oh,
we've
God,
been
no.
collecting urine for months now. The whole crew have been filling up cups. Okay.
I don't wanna look.
Witness. Ooh. Okay, here we go.
I'm just not gonna look.
Now this person's getting hydrated. That's good to see.
Can we just not comment on every single person's pee and just put it in there, please?
All right. Oh.
Ew.
I feel better already. Trust me, it's just as gross for me as it is for you. Oh, yeah, okay.
So the urine is in there. We have the aluminum radiator. We have the iron water pump. Now we're just gonna let it sit and see how much corrosion happens.
While the cooling system sits back and soaks up the pee. Next up, Tory and Bisi continue collecting data by relieving the radiator.
What a lot of people don't realize is that even when you have a leak in your radiator system or if it has a fracture, you want to evacuate all of the cooling liquid out of it. There's still some left in the crankcase, the heads.
Inside the engine, you have a ton of fluid still left. Well, I guess first things first, we got to replace the broken radiator.
The one beauty of working on older cars is that there are a lot of bolts that are rusted. So I have the last bolt that's holding the radiator in place. Okay.
Ready?
Yes. Wow, this thing's pretty heavy.
All right, let's put in the new one.
Okay.
And then just to find out how much fluid is in the entire system, we fill it up. We're all filled.
So when I filled it up, there's so many crevices that contain air in the motor. Now with the vehicle on, the water pump pumps and all that air is evacuated. Good? You can turn it off.
Then we're going to use compressed air to push the rest of the fluid out of the engine cooling system.
Here it comes.
Measure that.
That's a good idea.
And then at least we have a starting point of what we need.
Wow.
Jeez.
That's a lot of fluid.
Yeah, that's 3 gallons.
There has to be a way for us to determine what was just in the radiator versus what was in the entire system.
Well, you know, we could just fill up the other radiator. Okay,
Stop.
There we go.
Stop.
And then subtract that. That means another 1.5 gallons is left inside of our engine.
Absolutely.
So,
How much can you pee?
Bisi, you thirsty?
Tory, what are you doing?
I was thinking maybe what we do is we drink a bunch of water and we see how long we can hold it, as if we were on like a really long road trip and you were holding it till you got to the bathroom, and then we can see how much urine an average person, if they hold it for a long time, can go.
Okay.
How'd you do?
I feel much lighter. Look what I came up with.
1.5 quarts.
Yeah.
That's not nearly enough for one person to refill a radiator. But if there was 3 people in the truck,
Right.
you would have a gallon of urine.
Easily.
This is good news for us.
It's great news.
This could potentially
It
work.
could be. But you know what? There's nothing like going to the real world and doing it properly. So
That's right. Cheers to that.
say cheers. Well, here we are in Willow Springs.
Beautiful Willow Springs. Does this racetrack bring back memories for you, Bisi?
It does. This is the first place that I honed my skills as a road racer here.
In the vehicle we're gonna be testing this myth in,
that.
That's right. All right, so we are trying to figure out if urine works as a coolant.
Well, this is a perfect place to test that, and most vehicles exist between 182 to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. If we exceed that, let's say 248 degrees Fahrenheit, we need to call it because that's when engine damage occurs.
Yeah. Do we have sensors in this?
Oh.
So we can measure the temperature?
Plenty of sensors.
Okay, so we have drained our radiator completely.
The engine is bone dry.
All right, you ready to do this?
I'm ready, but I want to mask up first because this is going to be really stinky, and we're going to do this pretty quickly.
Okay, so we sprung a leak, and according to our math, first we fill the system with 2 gallons of premixed coolant.
Okay.
Once we have that, we pour in the gallon of urine. This is so gross. Which we determined if there was 3 travelers and they held their pee for a long time.
They can fill up a gallon.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, we're all filled up with
We're filled
urine.
up. Yes, we're good to go. All right. I'm gonna keep the window down.
Yeah, you're gonna want to keep the window down. All right, so all we need to go is 2.5 miles.
Yes.
And this myth is confirmed.
But if we see 248 degrees, I'm calling it.
And the sensor I'll be watching is the water neck or inlet, the temperature of the coolant turning from the engine to the radiator.
All right, here we go.
Engage. Hey, do you smell that? Oh my God.
Starting to warm up.
Oh, yeah?
We're at 175 degrees right now.
So far, so good. You know, we made it halfway through our course, and we're still okay temperature-wise. I don't know. This myth may have some substance to it.
In an emergency situation.
At the myth-specified 2.5 mile mark, the pea coolant mix is clearly coping. So we're doubling down and doubling the distance.
Oh!
Yeah, it is starting to get a little.
Yeah, a little funky.
We're like fluctuating around 177 to like 180.
So now we're at 3.75 miles, and the temperature's still in check.
This is
This is amazing.
Yeah, 5 miles. We've done 5 miles, Bisi, and it's still not overheating.
Yeah.
This is incredible. Urine, a motor coolant.
Wow.
Yep, in an emergency, a top-off by a trio of travelers will get you 5 miles home. But the guys aren't done yet.
Now we're gonna take it to the next level. We're gonna drain the entire system and fill it up with nothing but urine. Will it work? Maybe. Is it disgusting? Hell yeah. Just another day at the office, making my family proud. What did you do today, honey? I just filled a radiator with urine to see if it keep the engine cool. Okay.
This is really nasty.
Yeah. Now this is all completely urine, nothing else.
100%
All right.
unadulterated urine.
I think you should drive.
I'll do it.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Full urine steam ahead. Get it? Full steam ahead. All right, our temperature's gone up. Oh, we're up to 172. All right, we're halfway through the course. All right, we are at 5 miles, and our engine did not overheat. This is a good testament to urine. I say we have to confirm this one.
I agree with you. You know, it looks like if you're in a pinch and you run out of radiator fluid, you could use your own urine as a substitute.
Gross, but it works.
Yeah, it does work.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Okay, using urine in an emergency works surprisingly well. But even if you can leak enough to top off the leaky radiator, are there any corrosive consequences? Can you smell it from over there?
I am holding my breath.
There's definitely some corrosion. Woo! That is wicked. So the iron water pump has definitely gotten some corrosion. So you don't want to be leaving urine for too long in your system.
You okay?
All right, now let's take a look at the aluminum. You ready, Faye?
No.
Well, the aluminum doesn't look so bad. Ugh.
No.
There's like no discoloration whatsoever.
Yeah, from here, I can't tell where like the P line even went up to it. Like there's no change, you know?
All right. Turns out urine doesn't really affect the aluminum so much, but the iron, it definitely corroded it.
Okay. So in case you needed someone to tell you, don't do this, okay? Don't pee in your radiator and then leave it.
Despite that caveat, the myth remains confirmed. But it got me thinking, what if you had a leaky radiator,
So, ketchup.
Ah, a non-Newtonian fluid.
but you didn't have to take a leak?
Milk.
Maybe you've just been out to the store.
Shampoo.
There we go.
Maybe we should add some conditioner. Alcohol.
And using my shopping list as a randomized sample, I wonder what other weird emergency coolants would get you home.
I mean, theoretically, if you put ketchup in there as the engine.
So it doesn't transfer heat very well.
No, so we're not even gonna test ketchup after that test. Alcohol is gonna be bad on so many levels. So the fact that it has such a low boiling temperature, all right, 175, and that it's so flammable, so we're not even gonna try that. If anything, it's gonna give your radiator a healthy shine.
An engine runs most effectively up to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So, to provide effective heat exchange, that's the benchmark for our potential replacements.
Just a couple of dudes boiling shampoo. Remember when we first put it in, it was
Yeah,
very
it's pretty thick. Yeah, we had 210.
It's completely liquefied. I say
210.
shampoo is a good option.
It's not bad.
We're at 200.
200.
And it's still not
boiling.
What is this magical juice? We're at 212.
212.
So with two viable options, it's time to hit the track and test them in the truck with a freshly flushed radiator. Will either of them keep their cool?
All right.
So we're gonna test those other fluids.
Did you say other fluids?
Now this engine is completely dry.
Yes.
All right. This is an emergency situation. It's a milk truck. What if you had just gone grocery shopping?
Okay. Is it moving through the radiator yet?
We're gonna put 3 gallons of milk in it.
Oh, that looks good.
All right, we're all topped off with
All
milk.
right.
You ready to test this?
All right. Milk truck ready?
Milk truck ready.
Okay.
Go. Let's milk this truck.
You think we'll match the P's 5-mile marathon?
My feeling is the milk is gonna cook and it'll clog up the engine.
162, doing about 45 miles an hour. That's good.
It's kind of holding, but we're only halfway through the run.
So we're staying put at 174, mid-170s. Ooh, does that milk I smell? Like a latte?
Smells like burnt milk. I'm picturing big chunks of cooked milk and
Big
fat
globs
just clogging the system.
But nonetheless, so far, we're almost at the finish line.
Bisi, this is
The
like
milk is
blowing
holding,
my
I'm
mind.
telling you.
But it's actually working.
So you know what that means? If you are somewhere stranded and you don't have enough urine, you can put milk in your cooling system.
Milk does an engine good.
Sure does.
I'm impressed.
That was crazy.
Milk worked.
It did.
Yeah, this one's confirmed.
Confirmed. But we're not done yet. cue Rose and her pit crew to cleanse the cooling system.
How's it going, you guys?
Well, we're about to take a milk bath.
I'm ready.
Oh!
Woo, that is rank.
That's not bad. You know, I expect to see some chunks and coagulation, but
That's all
it
inside
held
the
up.
engine, BC.
After the flush, the radiator is replaced, so Tory and Bisi can repeat the test with the second of their store-bought liquids.
Let's say you're on your way back from the mega marts.
Okay.
You may have a ton of shampoos. Right. Oh, I don't know about this, Tory.
We're gonna be here forever.
Excuse you.
Sorry.
It smells good, though. You know, we've come a long way since urine.
Thank God.
How do we get it in the radiator, and how do we get it to flow?
All right, I'm gonna start the engine to see if we can get some shampoo to drop in. Is that helping?
Yeah. And we need 3 gallons of this stuff. Yeah, a little agitation, we're
Yeah.
good.
We're blowing bubbles. Oh, that's good. I say we go for it. BC, what do you think?
Yeah. But if this exceeds 248 degrees Fahrenheit in the cooling system, I'm calling it.
The engine smells so fresh.
Here we go.
Temperature's holding. It's starting to rise real
very
fast.
rapidly, yeah.
Really fast.
Oh my goodness. 209. We're at 227, 228.
Oh, we're at 230. Oh my God, we haven't even gone halfway. 238. 248 is the number. We
That's
need to
my
kill
number.
it. Oh, this is so nerve-wracking. I don't think we're gonna make it. We're at 245. Just coast because we're at 247. If we hit 248, we gotta shut this engine off. Yes!
Oh, this is crazy.
All right, this is the tricky part. Going uphill, you're gonna have to hit the gas. Oh no, this could be the end of our trip.
245.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
We're going
boy.
up.
I'm trying to get to the next.
247.
Oh, the
It's
suspense
holding
is
up
killing me.
247.
Ah, that's it.
249.
Yeah, we're done.
All right,
We're done.
I hear bubbling. I see steam coming from the engine.
Shampoo is not a good option.
Nope.
Smells good.
Smells great.
So it's painfully obvious, Tory, that shampoo is not a good substitute for proper engine coolant.
I had hopes for it when we saw it melt in the shop. Yeah, this is totally busted.
Yeah, I agree.
Good luck rinsing that radiator. The cooling system clearly couldn't cope with the shampoo goo. But milk and urine proved successful.
Well, Tory, you know what we have to do now to get this back to the shop?
Tow it?
No, we gotta pee in it.
Oh man, I'm fresh out of pee.
Coming up on Motor MythBusters,
3,
the team counts
2,
down
1.
to launch an investigation into the mythical automotive mayhem caused by UFOs. Do the reports of chaos and damage really add up?
There's some kind of technology that's causing this damage. Spielberg is like one of my favorite directors.
I haven't seen
See
this since
that?
I was a preteen.
You guys finally found a way to force me to watch a movie. Bring the movie to the shop.
Yep. Close Encounters is a classic.
Yeah, I've never seen it before.
You've never seen Close Encounters of the Third
No.
Kind?
It's really good.
Look how cute this truck is.
Oh, boy.
Everything's flying out.
Look at the gauges. Look at the gauges. The rate. Oh.
I mean, what do you guys think could have caused the gauges to react that way?
I think some kind of electromagnetic force.
An electromagnetic field is the most common explanation for the myth of UFO-induced automotive mayhem. So to ground this test in real-world physics, the team will start there.
I think, Faye, we need to find an expert to give us more insights on this phenomenon.
All right, while you're working on that, I have another idea that I think might give us the same effect that we saw in the movie.
Okay, so could a UFO really interfere with the radio signal, stall the engine, kill the headlights, disrupt the gauges, and cause chaos in the cabin? To help shed some light on the possible causes, the team has called in an electromagnetic physicist.
Doctor, I'm so curious. I mean, I saw the gauges go from empty to full on the fuel gauge, and then the speedometer went crazy as well. Is that possible with current technology that we have here on the planet?
It's a possibility. So we make all of our power, like right now in the room, just by moving permanent magnets past coils of wire. And so when you have a gauge, you're just basically measuring current going through that. So if we can change a magnetic field enough, we could change the current that those gauges are actually measured.
By using an induction coil in close proximity to produce a magnetic field for our small-scale test, we'll get an indication on whether this type of force could affect an automobile like we saw in the movie.
So this makes a field that comes out, but what I want to do is collect that current that's being generated and amplify it with another coil. This makes the field stronger, giving us higher odds of glitching out our stuff that we want to glitch out.
Excellent, excellent.
You know, we're only putting in 100 watts of power, and 100 watts of power is nowhere near enough to pilot some spacecraft.
Very true.
Or even one of our crafts.
Understood.
Right, it doesn't need to be a UFO.
Yeah.
It could be a jet, or, you know, there's a lot of energy being emitted to do that.
By using a portable induction coil in close proximity, they'll find out if an electromagnetic pulse can interfere on a relatively small scale with the radio signal static or disrupt the truck's gauges.
Turn the radio on. Whoa. That's comforting. Okay.
So we're starting with static, but we're getting more static, right?
The radio interference is instantaneous. Our electromagnet increases the static by weakening the AM band, just like the truck in the movie. Would it do anything to the light? But how will the other instruments fare against the magnetic field? Okay, nothing there. So let's try, turn this down. Let's try the gauge.
Oil pressure gauge.
That seems pretty steady.
I don't see much happening there.
How about our fuel gauge?
I think I saw
that.
it move a little bit.
I see some deflection.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit?
There,
That worked. Wow, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
How about speedometer?
Nope.
No. Wow, so far...
I wouldn't expect the speedometer to do that because that's a mechanical spinning magnet to begin with.
In the film, we also saw the truck's engine stall. So for our next test, we're taking Dr. Chad's electromagnet to the engine bay.
So, okay, I'm really excited about this because even though there's not a ton of electronics, there are a few that might be affected by your device. So, what should we start out with?
I said we go for the ignition distributor cap because that's the part that's making all the sparks to fire all the cylinders.
Very cool. Bisi? What about the wires over here?
The low-level electromagnet has no effect on the truck's distributor. So Chad is experimenting with a pulse over all of the electrical components under the hood. But still no reaction.
Wow, this is pretty resilient. That's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so size does matter. The pickup's engine resisted the effects of Dr. Chad's cute electromagnet. So, for our full-scale test, we're trying to match the out-of-this-world movie specs. So, Faye, this is what I was thinking. A giant magnet.
Oh, yeah, that thing's freaking huge.
54 inches in diameter. It could lift 5,300 pounds.
Oh, my gosh. So it could easily lift up the truck, is what you're saying. Wait a second.
But we are not going to lift up the truck. The plan is to not destroy this vehicle. The plan is to put the magnet directly above the engine, just kissing the engine. And then we're gonna turn the engine on, turn the radio on, turn the lights on, and then we're gonna hit the magnet and see if it affects the engine in any way.
Oh my gosh, I hope it doesn't actually damage anything because we can't. Because in the movie,
it didn't
the
damage
truck survived perfectly. Okay.
Yeah.
So to match the movie, the magnet needs to kill the engine, but without harming it. A mythical oxymoron, if you will.
We're living on the edge.
All right.
We're ready to place the magnet.
All right. Be gentle. This is our baby.
Oh my God.
To control exactly where our magnetic field is deployed, we'll position the magnet directly above the engine bay before we turn it on.
Level it out.
That looks good right there. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna start the engine. I'm gonna turn on the headlights, radio.
Magnet on!
Oh, it's definitely sucked down to the truck. Oh, it's affecting the radio.
It's affecting the radio. Lights?
I'm gonna go check the headlights real
Check the
quick.
headlights. Oh my God.
It's affecting the radio. Lights are still on. Oh,
It shut off.
what is? The
Is
radio?
the engine off?
Wait, the engine shut off?
Is the engine off? Oh!
The engine died.
Oh!
This is crazy.
That's nuts. Like instantly, as soon as the magnet went on, the radio, we lost signal.
Yep. Absolutely. What about the lights?
The lights didn't get affected at all.
Gauges.
There was a little bit of movement, but then the engine died. Maybe we should pop the hood and just make sure that the engine is still functioning.
Definitely, definitely. Armando, would you pull that back? We're gonna pop the hood.
That's pretty freaking unbelievable. What would have shut off the engine?
Actually, quite a few things underneath the hood could have been affected. There's a Hall effect sensor underneath the distributor cap, and that's where the vehicle gets its ignition timing signal from. If that was disrupted,
It would have killed the engine.
yeah, or
Yeah.
maybe even misfired, I'm not sure. Also, we have a voltage regulator here. We have a relay, which is an electromagnet, and with a stronger pulse or pull, that signal could be disrupted.
Whatever it was, this is very exciting. The fact that the engine actually shut off
I agree.
is kind of blowing my mind. All right, why don't we see if the engine's still running?
And I'll just monitor it and see if anything is running differently or anything is loose that I should be concerned about.
So in order to call the myth confirmed, we have to replicate all of the conditions from the movie. And in the flick, the engine stalled, but it was able to be restarted.
All right, Faye, here we go.
Okay.
It's working. It shut off and it still works.
It doesn't look like anything really has been damaged.
All right, I'm gonna shut it off.
That sounds good to me. I'm ready.
That was impressive.
All right.
The fact that the electromagnetic field shut off the engine, I mean, you can't get a better result than that.
No, I mean, that was exactly like what happened in the movie. Even to the alternator gauge, which may have been a symptom of the engine sort of slowing down and sort of like reducing the rotation of the alternator, but still, the gauge
that's a
did
result.
move. It's a result.
Yeah.
So to me, the gauges, doesn't matter how it happened, it's plausible.
Yeah, and the radio, for sure. I mean,
Oh,
the
yeah.
moment the magnet went on, we could hear squealing coming from the radio. That one's plausible.
Oh, 100%.
The engine's plausible.
The lights,
The lights, not so much.
maybe that one's busted. What do you think?
Yeah, I would have to say that was busted.
Lights busted. Okay.
One thing I did notice, I didn't see stuff fly up to the ceiling like in the movie.
The change and the
Yeah.
glove box.
So maybe what we need to do is just move the magnet from the hood over the cab.
It's amazing all the cool stuff you can find in the junkyard.
Put it right on top of the cab. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. All right, you ready?
I'm so ready.
All right, turn it on.
Yes!
It's working.
Oh my gosh. Think it's good to stop?
Yeah. It looked like it worked to me.
Yeah. I'm gonna say metal things moving around.
Yep.
Up, down, sideways, flying around. Plausible.
Very much plausible.
Plausible, yeah.
All right.
With the Close Encounters of the Third Kind movie scene in the can, the team are keen to keep probing the theme and test a UFO myth of the second kind. So they're beaming in a visitor for some first-hand accounts.
Hey, Earl, thanks for coming in.
Are you familiar with any cases where the physical attributes of a car were modified by a UFO?
Sure. There was one that was in 1964. The witness described a heat signature, and the paint was bubbled on the hood of his car.
Wow.
And back in 1979, this guy, he encountered a UFO. The windshield had been cracked, again, by the heat signature from this UFO. So I've had a couple of cases that have been similar.
It's like this common theme of heat damage.
Right.
Where it's like cracking the windshield,
Right.
bubbling the paint.
Yes.
There's some kind of technology that's causing this damage.
I'm really excited to see what you guys, figure out, So
All right.
do let me know.
Cool. If you want to just beam back.
Okay, where are you going to beam me to?
Wherever you want.
All right. Are you serious? You want to beam me out? You guys should.
So the myth is
Yes.
the presence of an unidentified flying object will cause heat damage to the car, boil the paint, and crack the windshield.
I like that myth a lot. And you know what? Unidentified flying objects aren't just alien craft.
I mean, we have rockets, we have jet engines.
Yeah.
Those things could give us propulsion and heat at the same time. We have some model rockets that we could test, as if it was a jet engine.
I think I need to find a car.
See, you're starting to think like me. You don't always have to fix cars.
Well, then I won't get a nice car, go to a wrecking yard, or
good idea.
I'll grab them from one of the producers. Get their car in here, daily driver.
That's an even better idea.
Yep, one hunk of junk destined for scrap gets to dodge the junkyard magnet and live out a final chapter in the service of science.
All right, I have some model rockets, and I have them set just about above the top of the car, so it's about 2 feet off of the hood.
Yes, that's nice.
So I say what we do is we set these off as if the UFO was above the vehicle
Yes.
and see if we get any damage to the car.
Wow, that's good. I want to see how this paint's going to react.
We have the high-speed camera set up
Nice.
and a FLIR, so we'll see how hot the rockets are getting and how hot the top of the hood is
Wow, you're
And
my best friend. You know that?
You're so excitable. I love that about you,
Absolutely.
BC.
Sounds good.
The 3 solid model rocket engines pack a punch of 12.1 newtons with a burn time of 9 seconds each. Model rockets, test number 1 in 3, 2, 1. Well, that was cool. Okay, so there's some discoloration. but
Right, but no bubbling.
No cracking of paint, nothing like they were talking about.
Yeah, I documented 132 degrees Fahrenheit of temperature on this surface.
Okay, well, should we check the high speed?
Oh, sounds good.
The model rockets didn't bubble the paint from a range of 2 feet.
Oh.
See, I think that's where we were getting all those little specks.
I
It was just
agree.
the hot embers scorching the paint.
But with the temperature reached,
That's some good concentration, though, nonetheless.
the rockets still have the potential to fit the myth's criteria.
That's a cool looking effect, too. I mean, I could see if, like, you were in the car and there's something flying above your hood, you would
Yeah.
think it was a spaceship. Maybe it was just some kids with model rockets
Very possible.
playing a little prank.
Yep.
So for small-scale test Mark II, to simulate a close-range encounter, the model rockets are moving in.
All right, so we are all set for our test 2. First, we had our model rockets 2 feet above the hood of the car. We've lowered them down to 6 inches. Here we go. Test number 2 in 3, 2, 1. Did you see how red hot the hood got?
I wonder what temperature it is now. Oh, there's bubbling.
Look at the hood.
Oh my goodness, that's over 400. That can definitely burn your hand. I feel the heat right now.
All right, we're losing the heat. But what we're trying to see is if we could replicate what they were talking about in their stories, and we have here.
Yes,
We've got
we do.
Warped steel, and we have bubbles in the paint.
And we didn't have to use an unidentified flying object to make this happen.
All right, now in one of the UFO encounters that these people talk about, they said that their windshield actually cracked. Now, glass is a lot more brittle, so it's gonna be interesting to see how it withstands the heat of these rockets.
We've removed an old windshield to test the effects of our rocket safely on the bench. And since we found the model rockets had a far greater effect on the hood when within close proximity, we'll keep it consistent and start with the 6-inch test.
Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Oh! We only had 2 rockets go off. 333 degrees. Yeah, dude, check this. Oh! We got shattering at both sides, but we got a really big shattering happening right here. And, you know, those were just little model rockets, and not all of them went off.
Yeah, only 2 of them.
And we were still able to get a shattering just like these people were talking about when they experienced this UFO.
I am curious to what the high speed shows.
Okay.
I'm sure that'd be quite spectacular.
Small-scale success. Our rockets were able to match some of the visual accounts. It's so crazy. It looks like a plasma cutter.
Yeah.
But the solid model rocket engines did need to be in very close proximity to meet the myth's criteria for damaging automobiles. When we hit the hood of the car, do you remember how big the heat surface was? Where now
it's more concentrated.
Now, these rockets were cute, and they did allow us to get some of the results that these people were talking about in their story about UFOs. But I think we need to go to a different type of propulsion system.
You guys ready? Ready.
Like a jet engine. It's gonna give us a lot more thrust, a lot more heat, and a longer duration of heat. Go! So to test this part of the UFO myth, we needed a jet car. I know, that's not a jet car, but that is. This jet was actually pulled from Lear Jet, and then they built the car around it. Now, it's been recorded at going over 300 miles per hour. It puts out 8,000 pounds of thrust. With a liquid propulsion system, it'll burn longer with a greater range to match the stories of a UFO flying above and not just sitting right on top of the hood. We don't even know how hot the afterburn is gonna be. What we're gonna do is we're gonna fire this up, point it directly at our car, and see if it bubbles the paint just like these UFO stories. But before we do, we need to put a leash on this thing. We're gonna have to make sure that the car doesn't just take off that way.
Right.
And our car doesn't just get blown that way. So what we're gonna do is actually chain our jet car to our burn car.
Okay.
So it'll be like a ballast.
Should be good.
What? Oh
Yeah,
my
let's
God.
do this.
All right.
The jet efflux expels hot combustion gases and air at speeds over 1,000 miles per hour. So to avoid incinerating the test car completely and to replicate a low-level flying object, we've positioned it 40 feet away.
All right.
Okay.
You guys ready?
Oh my God, I honestly don't think I'm ready for this.
Okay, go ahead and start your engine.
That's so cool. It's like how my electric car starts up. Just like that.
Sounds like my G5. Oh, this is very exciting. All right, 15 seconds. We're gonna let it burn for 15 seconds.
All right, smell that?
Oh my God.
That smells good.
Woo!
All right, here we, you guys ready?
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go. That was insane.
Freaking
my
insane.
goodness.
Woo!
Oh, we got a little bit of bubbling.
Yeah,
Look
it
at
actually
this.
fared a
before
little
you
bit better
close,
than I thought.
before you close, let me check this. That's still
I'm
warm.
not gonna touch it.
Don't
I
do
dare,
it.
Dare to grab
No,
it.
no,
I pass.
no.
Oh, look at this. We got a cracked windshield here.
Oh.
This is all new. And right now, what I'm seeing is
Whoa.
everything plastic on this side
Yes.
is melting, which makes sense.
Definitely.
We don't really see any warping
the
going
side
on
marker light.
on the metal.
That was surprising because, like, with the way that it was rattling back and forth, I thought for sure there'd be some damage.
So far,
We
it's
got
looking
2 of the
like
3.
this is working.
Yeah.
But not working well enough. So what I think we should do is bring it closer because, you know, a lot of these people said it was right above their car. So we're going to reset for another test. This time, we're bringing it in to 20 feet. All right, you guys, any predictions?
Yeah, I think that car is gonna come up in the air. It's definitely gonna have warped panels, definitely gonna have bubbled paint, definitely gonna crack some glass. This is gonna make it happen.
I just hope this thing
damage.
doesn't catch fire. All right, you guys ready?
Oh yeah, wait,
Here we go.
Hearing
In
protection,
3,
hearing protection.
2, 1, start it up.
Oh my God, it actually sounds like it's about to take off.
Oh boy. Hear those turbines spinning.
Oh my God.
Hit it! Wow, nice job.
Oh my God.
We got a fire.
Pieces.
Now that's what I call a close encounter. We need to inspect the aftermath and call them in.
This poor thing.
We might have let it go a little
wire
too long.
harness.
Oh, what
You
was the
think?
harness?
A little too long.
Oh my goodness.
Check this
Oh my
out.
God.
We got some warping.
Oh, a lot
We
of
got
bubbling
some
too.
bubbling.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what those people saw. We're not trying to say UFOs are from outer space
Right.
or they're a real thing, but they experienced something. And they had proof on their vehicle, and I feel like we may have overdone it. We may have like overcooked it.
Just a little bit.
No,
But-
no, you don't say.
There was a point, though, right before it caught on fire, when all that heat was hitting the side of the car, we saw paint bubbling, we saw metal warping, glass breaking. It looked like what these people were describing in their encounters.
Absolutely. If a UFO had some type of propulsion system that could allow it to do what they typically are said to do, it's likely very similar to our jet engine, and the heat signatures would have done exactly what we saw. You know,
I think
Tory,
we're-
how do you want to call this one?
Gosh, I mean, I feel like we have to call this one plausible.
What do you think?
Absolutely plausible. Absolutely plausible.
Yeah, based upon the evidence, I concur. Plausible indeed.
All right, should we go home?
Yeah.
Who's driving?